I'm carrying on a great project and cannot go down to you. Why should the work stop while I leave it and go down to you? That's basically saying you're not that important, right? I mean, read it. I mean, that's our reading. You know, somebody says, hey, let's meet. Man, you're not that important. I got other stuff to do. So, I mean, he's not nice. He's very blunt. He's very to the point. Look, God's given me a project. God's given me a mission. I'm to build this city. I'm to build this wall. And I'm to move forward on this project. You're just trying to get me off mission. He even says they're scamming to hurt him. He uses a little bit of discernment here. He understands what they're trying to do. And so Nehemiah says, you know what? If I leave, it's going to get done. It's not going to get done. And just like in our lives, if we leave what we're doing, if we stop what God has called us to do, raise our families, do our jobs, things get off track, right? You know, 1 Timothy and Titus pretty much gives us the blueprint for our lives. Love God, love your spouse, love your kids, and do ministry. And this plays out so much today in everyday life. You know, it's the dad who is so busy trying to volunteer everywhere else that he forgets about his kids. It's the mom that's trying to do everything, be the soccer mom, go here, go there, go there. She forgets to tell her husband that she loves him. It's the parents who are so into their kids that they leave their relationship with God to a Sunday morning. I've saw this play out so often, especially working in the oil field. We work 7 to 7, and I worked down in Bluefield a lot when me and Dawn first got married. I was working here in Lafayette 7 days. My 7 days off, I was home every day. My 7 days off, I'd go work overtime. I'm trying to pay off a couple things, trying to get our life started, right? And I worked 673 hours of overtime that first year of marriage. I didn't see my wife. We joked that that's how we made it through our first year of marriage. Because we were both trying to adjust to each other. I was used to living alone and was not used to having somebody in my house. So it was a big adjustment for me. But, like literally, I watched the guy. He had the responsibilities. He loved his wife. He loved his kids. This dude lived in Florida, worked in Boothville. I've seen him pull 32-day hitches. Go home for 3 or 4 days and then come back and pull another 21-day hitch. I think literally he didn't take a whole 7 days off for 2 years. I watched this dude run his life. And he came to work one day all bummed out, talking to him why, man. My wife just left me. My best friend. Kind of looked at it, and I'm not very compassionate sometimes. I'm working on that, and my tactfulness is not there. And I just straight up looked at him. I said, well, you love PHI more than you love your wife, dude. You've been here. You haven't seen your wife in 6 months. She's going to get lonely. Go see your wife. And guys, that's a call to all of us. Tell your wife you love her. If you're not married yet, realize this. You've got to work on that relationship. Remember a couple weeks ago, the trial on the sword? You have to work on your relationship. You have to defend it. And you can't defend it if you're not spending time with the person you love. Same thing goes with God. You cannot defend a relationship when you don't have it. If you're not spending time with each other, you're going to grow apart. And Nehemiah is just sitting there saying, I have to spend time with my God, and I have to spend time doing what he's telling me. And the bad thing here is people know what it is. People have learned the art of pestering. Some people have learned it from birth, and we parent it into them because if I cry long enough, they're going to give me what I want, right? Look at this verse. 4 times they sent him a message, and 4 times he told them no. They were just on him every day. And then the 5th time, it's funny because then he says, I sent them the same message every time. How would you like to have that job? Hey, these guys want to kill me. Go bring me this message. I ain't coming. You're not worth it. I'd have been like, dude, send them an email. You're going to kill the messenger, and I'm not going to be the messenger here. You know what I'm saying? He's going to kill you. You bring it. I don't want to lose my life. But they sent him this message 4 times. And Nehemiah stuck to his guns. We need to learn the art, the Christian discipline of saying no. It's okay to say no. We think because we're Christians or because we love God, God was unselfishness. He lived his life and he did everything for everybody. He did. But he told people no as well. I think about the pool where he healed the blind man. How many people do you think were around that pool when Jesus walked up and he healed that one guy? The one guy that complained that every time the water stirs up, the crippled guy. Every time the water stirs up, he couldn't get in because somebody else would beat him in there. Jesus walked up to that pool and healed him. It was a known pool. It was known what to do. There was probably people all over that pool. But Jesus was very, very pointed in his mission. He knew what God had called him to do. He knew what he had to do. So he did it. We need to be like that. We all know what God's called us to do. Men, we're called to love God, love our families, and raise kids, right? Do a job. That's what we're called to do. Ladies, y'all know y'all job. Y'all are to help. Y'all are to help us. Y'all are to keep us from getting sidetracked off the shiny things, right? Well, when the little shiny thing flashes, y'all are supposed to help us reel us straight. You know, y'all are to give us the load. Remember, guys are like trucks. We work better with the load. Y'all give us a load. Everybody knows their job. Everybody, we're all mature adults in here, right? We can all say we know what we're supposed to be doing. But how many of us do? How many of us, when people come at us over and over, well, you're a Christian, you love God, you're supposed to love me, I need help. Well, no, you're supposed to help yourself. That's a load you can carry. It's not a load I have to carry for you. It's a feather you can carry. Now, a single mom comes up to you, she needs some help. That's a load that we need to get up underneath her and help. Maybe it's not even a load you need to carry. Maybe it's a load the church needs to carry. Maybe it's a load that you need to bring in front of us so we can come up alongside of you and help you. So Nehemiah goes forward here. And in verse 5, they sent him again the fifth time with the same message. Then they sent him an open letter. And in that day, an open letter was basically you would get a message from somebody and it was sealed with their ring. It had like a little, probably like a wax stamp on it. And it was only for that person to open. But if it was an open letter, it means it was a red letter. It was in the town square, you could email it, you could have the chain email going out, somebody could blog about it, it could just go out to everybody. Everybody could read it, everybody could see it. So Nehemiah has to defend his reputation here. This is where they're trying to disgrace him. And it's basically said, I love this part. It is reported among the nations, and Gershom says it's true. How many of y'all have felt that? A person who doesn't even involved in a situation, who's like over there, don't even know him, all of a sudden, but he's saying it's true because it must have happened, right? He's not even in Jerusalem. He's not even in the fight. He's not even trying to help. But he's over there, but he's saying it's true, so not everybody believes it. Because one guy said it's true. We haven't got it this morning. I love this. And as he goes through it says that you are trying to become king. You're having treason. And in that day, there was already a king. He was a Persian king. Nehemiah knew him very well. He was his cupbearer. He had matter of fact sent Nehemiah to go to Jerusalem. And in that day, if the king thought you were trying to take over his throne, there was a loss of life there. He was going to cut off your head. You were pretty much dead. And when that happens, you lose the function to stand upright. There's a lot of things that are going to go missing when you lose your head. Breathing, consciousness, it's just going to happen. So Nehemiah felt the responsibility here. He felt the disgrace coming. So he has to respond. And I said this reply, nothing like what you were saying is happening. You are making it up in your head.